us know what possible. He's been the chief of the bar and all for long days and now he's getting possible for the we got a glass. All your nice. I'll just start. I wouldn't be able to talk up there.
Was there sort of maybe the town will love tree.
Yours is in the fridge.
Places maybe the town give up and says.
And that's the only one kid you die from.
That's right. Change. You changed your game.
You bring your own. I don't know why we have it for you.
Oh, I didn't know you can't pay for chance.
Special package.
Butter, salt, these the old ones. This one's got its own little pouch. I didn't read instructions. Maybe I'm wrong at it either.
They won the world championship barbecue company today. Back in-
Right. The last time I seen they got like 4th or 5th. So.
You just said they got the big trophy. didn't
That's where it's true.
Why didn't you get the coins off them?
I when they go up there.
You should have just said me. I was covering. This is my Mike.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
He has the scratch. It was
No,
you're that's right. You're right.
Jack lights always on. I still have like 4 close that you got them. Do not. She just watching she.
Did she tell you? She'd rather it's green. So I figured it's 30 cents. She's the gal that does it. Jack's it. It's very well for those. She's like, I'm gonna ref that shit. Yeah. Right. She's
so bad for you. Okay.
Yes. This one.
I didn't even think
It's healthy.
Well, don't go back. Huh?
That's right, the grocery store. Just not like building. Yeah, but it is, it's something about minutes.
Since I can have.
Yeah.
I'm figuring you.
You go try it.
No, got half bag.
It's so strict.
I told you that it was white.
Yeah.
It's me, yeah.
Blink now, just blink now.
Well,
I went back and checked it. I popped out of town. Dad, I always saw them one kid on the dirt.
It's absolutely fine.
I went back out to the rack, that's like far runs right on. I need to say. So.
Maybe it's just me, my.
Sorry.
No big deal, I'm just over here dying.
That's life for me.
Are you on one? That's like, okay, right?
Yeah, they call for it now.
All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming to the town council meeting today. Last way, is the pledge of allegiance. Stand.
I go up to the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. The end is all with the street and that's right.
All right, do I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
Motion made.
By Randy, you second that?
Second.
Second by Teresa. Any further discussion? All in favor? Right. Motion carried. Do I have a motion for the approval of the minutes for September 9th, 2025?
I make a motion that we accept them with corrections.
Okay. Whatever you're-
On that second page of number 7 and unfinished business, I looked back on my notes and I was talking about, I wasn't talking about lodging tax paying for the streetlights. I was asking if lodging tax would help pay for the banners that that hopefully will be on the streetlights. So it makes it a little bit different there.
Answer still the same.
Oh, I know the answers to the same for this year, but it may be changed eventually. But so it should say banners for the streetlights.
Okay, so. I have a motion with that change. Do I have a second on that motion?
I second.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Right.
You have a correct on the agenda. You do not have to approve the work meeting minutes, but there's no decision made, no payment, so. I missed that one.
What was that?
Item number 5 would make that. Do I have a motion for approval of accounts payable?
Motion made.
Payroll. Motion by Wayne, second by Teresa. Any further discussion? I will say that there's one business license there. So that being said, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Do you have any award for public recognition? Teresa?
I do, Sharon got all those lovely little lights up down at the park and some people have said they look really nice for homecoming, so. And so I thank her for doing that. And then, Sunday, Ricky Feller called me just as I was getting ready to leave for church to let me know that the flag was down at the park. And so I did not have, Bentley's phone number, so I called Chief Whitehead, thank you very, very much. And Bentley and Neil Hymas went down and the flag was frozen to the ground. And so they got it up and the rope
that we used to put in there, had broke in the wind. And I do know going forward with that, because it's a long ways up there. Cameron has a ladder truck, and it's already been suggested if we ask them, they could bring it down to string that up. And so I thank you guys going above and beyond to help me take care of that. I appreciated it very, very much.
Good. Unfinished business. You'll notice on the agenda, we have the Terra Power Impact Funds. It's not really up to business, it's just an update on the business. They have started making those payments. The town is eligible to receive $12,318.83 for the next 69 months. The items that were slated for that to be used on was some security devices and electronic updates for this building. New signage in town and a road up here on West Main. We'll probably start with the electronic stuff and then get our plans together for the signage. We've got to look at that on that. Probably a couple of years down the road, we'll tackle the road because we've got money's got to be there before we can really start utilizing it.
So did I understand right that we have to go ahead and pay for what we do and then they reimburse us?
Sure.
That's what I thought.
So the way it kind of works, just for everybody's knowledge, is the county essentially has a savings account in our name.
Right.
It's slated for this particular project. As the payments come in, they go into that account for us. As we spend the money, we send a voucher to the county cuts us a check. To reimburse us after we spend the money.
Right.
The other unfinished business is not really unfinished business, but it's a reoccurring business. It's time for the bids to go up for the propane, and I'd entertain a motion if we would like to do that or feel by the thing. Typically, it's cheaper for us to send them out for bids.
I would think it would be. I'm okay with getting bids for that.
We got one bid the last time. No, but yeah, we got to put up a bid anyway. We can put it up for them.
We have a motion to put it up to bid
Yes.
from Tracey. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Brad. All in favor?
Right.
Right. New business. Ron Lyle, you've got some information for us on the
Yes, sir.
lights that we have in our town that we love so much.
I got a little bit of information I can share with everyone. My name's Ron Lyle. I'm the regional business manager for Rocky Mountain Power in Southwest Wyoming. So you guys have been dealing with these streetlights up there for a little while now. So hopefully I can give you some additional information. So you have a total of 17 high pressure sodium, 250 watt streetlights up. They are all fed underground. The age of the system is estimated to be between 1988 and 1992. And that's just the best estimation that we've got. All the wires to the lights are old direct buried underground cable. So they're going to continue with them. The box, which when the mayor met with our general foreman, they went ahead and took care of that open box and got it covered up. So there's no conduit or anything there. We got it all secured so nobody can step into it. So this is what we're looking at. To get the light repaired and get everything working, we'll need to have 3 days of our contract crew to come up and take care of all the work. We're looking at refeeding the north light on the west side with overhead. And then 2 spans west to the overhead transformer. Replace any failed underground stands with overhead duplex. Service all the lights. Or we can just convert them all to LED and just make things a little bit simpler in the future. Because LED lights, you pull one off, put the other one on. So. The minimum fee for this work will be labor, trucks, and travel arrangements. We estimate that to be about $7,000. All material will be billed out as required. We're looking at using number 4 aluminum duplex with the overhead wire. There'll be connectors and lamps and, all those types of things. So the unknown for us would be whiteout permits, so we don't expect there to be any issues with that. And then we'll have to do something for traffic control. So that way we can get our work done while at the same time remaining free with the traffic flowing through town. So we're guessing that the overall cost will be about $15,000. So. Before I go any further, are there any questions at this point?
I have one. On the traffic controller, you want an actual flaggers?
I don't know if they'll put up actual flaggers or if they'll just put up cones and redirect traffic.
Is that something you,
Yeah, we would take care of that.
So you're saying you have overhead power lines from between each light?
It's very possible, so it really depends on what the status is of the cables underneath. And we can't do that until we put a thumper on it and test the lines.
Aesthetically, it's preferable to have the LED lines than
Sure.
much of overhead lines.
so question, are the lines that are there now, are they in a conduit?
No, they're right there.
Oh, that's why I got, otherwise we could just pull. like,
Yes. If they were in conduit and conduit would have to go out, we could do both. The regular wires, but it's direct there.
Yeah,
So-
the other thing is I met with the contractor down there. It's significantly cheaper to form full overhead, and there is existing overhead right behind that. So aesthetically, it's not gonna change anything you're gonna do. Got overhead and drafting down. Lights.
So
Any other questions?
Which do you prefer, the lights that the existing lights, that type, or do you prefer the LEDs?
I would think go to LEDs. They're dark sky compliant. So overall, at night, you'll get the light down on the roadway, but you won't get a whole bunch of them reflecting up into the sky. So. And it really is just a matter of, oh, that one's burnt out. So.
A quick question on the. So is that 15K? Is that just fixing what the way it is?
No,
No, but or is that
No.
LED?
that would be probably including the LEDs, because to replace all of the LEDs is about $3,000. Just for the overhead pictures themselves.
Oh, what about, well, power costs haven't changed, it's a flat rate.
Right, it's a flat rate per light basis. So I've talked with the DOT. And I've talked with Roger about that. So once we get the lights up and running, YDOT is, at that point in time, we'll reinitiate or get a contract with the city of Oakville to give you guys the lights. Okay, then we can work on a maintenance agreement with the town of Oakville to do the swapping out of city to be done. And I've also have preliminary acceptance of the idea that YDOT would help cover the costs. So I don't have any formalized path forward on exactly, who would cover what costs, etc. But I figured I'd show up to let you guys know what the status was, let you know that YDOT does appear to be applicable to helping cover the costs. And then transferring all of the rights.
Who would you contact if why not?
The district engineer.
Kaufman,
think so.
and he was the one that mentioned that. On the box.
Yeah, he said that Whiteout would be open to exploring, but yeah, didn't come.
So that's before we do the work. We discussed that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, first we get everything all worked out in advance. That way everyone knows exactly where we are. And I'll quote, Whiteout is willing to explore options to resolve the issue. So,
One question, given place for what I would think, if over time there were additional expansion, retail businesses, you know, along that corridor, would the current design create any problems with that?
once they're all replaced,
Yeah, if they are where they are, is that?
no, no. And it's our understanding that the city doesn't want to replace the one that was on the corner. So,
That's wrong, that's wrong.
No.
you want,
We want that.
okay,
We do.
well, then we put up a new pole and stuff there too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's why there's that whole.
We don't feel like we should cover the cost of it.
understand. Understand. That's why I took the,
But we do think it should be replaced. It should have been replaced.
So they have to go with it.
yeah, but that's why I took the initiative of starting to ask Whiteout, you know, they would be willing to explore options on how we cover the cost of this. So we can get you guys back up with your streetlights and get you a contract and all of those things that seem to be a impediment to progress at this time.
Thank you.
So I have one more question.
So
It was doing budget wise. Say, so whatever our board do, we're going to negotiate out. Is that in lump sum payment or is that gonna be approving our monthly bills?
it'd be a lump sum payment. Who knows, maybe we can talk Whiteout into good government costs.
It should.
They should, yeah.
Federal money.
That's on White, it's right away, which Whiteout gets federal funding for and.
But they are willing to explore the options. So.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Have you given this preliminary number for Whiteout?
No, I have not. I've not had any further conversations with them past the point that I just told you about. Our crew came up, the general forum, but that was the mayor. And did some analysis of what was out there, fixed the hole in the ground. And everyone put together some preliminary policy. So if the town's open to exploring Whiteout helping, then I can pick that up for you and us and moving forward.
I think
I-
that'd be good
I think we should do that.
too.
Kind of, it'll be better than.
Understood. Understood. You know, sometimes.
And we appreciate your efforts and
Yeah.
involvement.
We sure do.
Do we need to do a meeting from one?
At this point, I don't think we need to do anything formal other than saying,
You're good to go.
you're good to go and explore an option.
I don't think they actually have a fast solution, you know, anything
No.
like that. It's-
The decision factor will only happen when we have to spend the money.
Okay.
Okay,
Very good.
then I'll work on putting together some sort of a plan and I'll be back in touch.
Try to get them to pay for all of it.
Oh, thanks.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time coming.
Good. It looks like we have the beautification committee up next. I didn't know who was gonna talk to, if you were involved or.
I call you through and do some too. So I'm Brittany Kelly with the beautification committee. Kind of filling in for Ashley, she would be our spokesperson. But she couldn't make it tonight. This is going with what he's gonna follow up with a grant. We're trying to get for the celebration that's gonna be going on next year all across the US. And it's gonna commemorate the America's 250th anniversary. Through the lens, we wanna try to encapsulate all this, and what Leslie is doing, the paperwork that we should all have is a mural. And we really think it will have a lot of impact on the town for the costs, as far as, being able to show some history. Some of the things that we thought we could maybe incorporate were, we're gonna leave this all up to the artist, but some suggestions would be like the show homelands and the fur trade, immigrant trails. Some with the Oregon Shortline era, ranching and agricultural resilience. And at the Stoners Mayoral milestone. And then some other things that are really specific to the Cokeville area. Like sheep, yes, the train, the rails, some, and something that we're very well known for. We are proposing a couple of locations, and it's written in there, but I also just printed a couple pictures. We want to do it on this building. And either two locations, this brick wall that's like right here where you park. There's this one right here or this one. So those are our two proposed locations, or both would be great too. We might be able to fit that in the budget, possibly depending on the direction that we go with an artist. We want to do a website, and Fang did this, and they had tons and tons of people apply. It's just something that I think excited a lot of people. They've had a lot of outside town apply, but when it came right down to it, they did choose somebody local, and so we want to make sure all of our parameters are listed on the website of what we're looking for, which we would like you guys to head up, if possible. And then we can go from there once we choose an artist, which will be a committee, because you guys choose the committee, and we can get that artist selected. And we want to involve with school in education ways, and helping them maybe be involved with some things, because I think it's awesome to know our history, and a great opportunity to involve a lot of people that will make an impact on making them excited about our community and our history, and want to. I think this mural has a lot of potential to make our town better. I think it could, and like help with tourism. I know driving through Preston, and so many people stop with all those new murals, and they want to take pictures by it and post them on their social media, because that's what everybody does. And I just think it could, and it's a great spot right on Main Street. There's places that they can park to take pictures, or I just think it's something that would be really amazing for our town and community, and something that would also just the history, get everybody excited about what Cokeville is and what it stands for.
My brother called last night from Thane, and I guess Thane just hired, and I don't remember her name. I thought I cut it out in the paper, that one she's already done a mural, and it's beautiful. You remember her name well? Did you see that in the paper?
I did not.
Okay, I'll try to find that for you, so she can go on your list, but she does beautiful work. Scott says that, he knew we were doing it, and so he called me, and so I'll see if I find that was in Star Valley's paper.
Awesome. And our timeline, we kind of just did a rough timeline on this. The deadline for this grant is the end of this year, but we could be awarded, if we get this turned in next week, if it's approved, we could be awarded as soon as, I think that date was approved pretty quickly. So we could get rolling on our timeline pretty fast, dependent on how fast we got the approval of what's submitted. So anyway, that's just kind of a rough timeline. And as far as the budget goes, there is no match required, but I also feel like it looks good if we show that we have skin in the game, whether that's saying that we will have a budget that will provide the maintenance further down the road, the sealants that need to be put on every so often, just the things like that. If we can set aside a budget for that, I just think some kind of a to show that we really all want this, you know, it's not required, but I think match might go a long way, just even if it's $2,500 or something like that. That we could use to put for future use, or even for a ribbon cutting ceremony, that we cover the cost of that, or the scaffolding, some of those things. Cause the artist is gonna feel they'll supply their supplies and the things required, but if we could even say, if people can donate some of the contractors, and oh my God, has scaffolding, you know, they'd be willing to do that to that, or I don't know, those are just some of the ideas that we had that we could help match funds in some way. We've also looked at some fundraising options if there is no money in the budget that we could maybe come up with. Do you have any questions?
We have an idea, any general idea, I know it's probably preliminary and early, but a general idea of what the cost of maintenance will be over time.
Right now, we kind of have set aside, like, you were thinking like $2,000. I'm not really sure exactly what the students are gonna cost. But I don't, just judging with some of the projects that I've done in the past, the sealants, I think they probably need to be, depending on how much we spent on them, maybe 3 to 5 years. So I don't think it's gonna be a huge upkeep cost, which is another great thing about this mural idea, is that the impact that it could have without having a high longevity cost to go with it.
And both locations are outside of direct sunlight.
Right.
This should get wood.
Right,
So with that, that's the thing that strikes me.
yeah.
And maybe this is, it's a gentleman, the work we talked about, getting approval to add, you know, pages to the website. But was that one of the requirements to have a project page on this, on the website? I spoke with Ashley about this. Would it be either beneficial to just create a project page on the town website?
We could, yeah,
Outline.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
people look at more information.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. So that people know. And that's another thing we're working towards with the education side of this, is we want people to be up to speed as much as possible. And be involved, you know, we talked about having a portion of the thing that maybe the elementary kids can come through the stroke. Or something like the high, you know, get kids involved, and then they can say, hey, we did something on this mural that's helping to last for a long time. Anyway.
And then, another question I have, the selection process for who the artist would be, how do you envision that working?
We want to create a committee that you guys will help us select, and then maybe narrow it down to so many, and then you guys, if you would like to make a final decision, that's kind of where we don't want to be in charge of that. Then we'll kind of want to ultimately, you guys make that decision, that's fine too, because I think we can have a lot of different applicants with, you know, the cost, because not a bad gig, so. And that's kind of what we preliminary have discussed.
Bob, what was the selection process and thing like?
They did a blind selection, so nobody knew where these proposals came from. And they selected, and it just so happened it was I can't remember her first name, his name was Robinson. Anyway, they selected her.
Trinity and.
Do they have like a proof picture that they selected?
They did. Yep.
That's kind of, that's curious, about it, more or less how that would work, is if they were selecting up.
Yes, they're gonna submit proposals, yes. They will have to see proposal of what they're thinking.
Just
Yeah.
smiley face, Kobe.
Hey, if that's all we need, I can do that. No.
And then we will also want to incorporate some signage as well. That will be the title of the mural and depict some of the, what's going on in it, so that details some of the histories. And, you know, maybe those that were involved in making it happen. Well, if that's something that we want to leave some funds for, is to have some signage too. And we wouldn't mind lights, but we'll see where we get, but budget wise.
I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I feel like this is the big thing for the town. probably needs to involve more than just one or two voices of input.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask the council's consensus on what their feelings are on more of these locations to the idea. And then I want to open the floor to the public.
Sure.
To also provide any input or comment on this.
That's great. Thanks.
But we'll start with the council for
I'm totally sold. The idea and the place for it. So.
I got a question for you. But
Sure.
where do you optimally want it out of the two, like? Two suggested spots.
Originally, we liked the idea of it being right here because of the height. There's more area to cover. But I think when we went around and saw that front and it's, you know, kind of almost framed in and stuff, that's kind of our number one place right now. But we like either spot.
So that one there, people can just walk right up to it.
Right.
Right.
This one here, they gotta go across the grass, right?
Yeah.
In the street.
My preference is right here. We measured it and kind of visioning, easy stuff, I think, probably out.
So I'm with Charles on that one. It's out here. People there, if it's during the day. During the week, there's cars parked.
Cars
They could
parked, true.
Block me.
So,
And we've also talked about the possibility down the road and if, I mean, if we could maybe incorporate a sheep statue or something next to, I mean, you know, how Logan has Aggie Bowls all down Main Street. We just are trying to think of things to brand Oakville with. And that was an idea we thought of that maybe a sheep, I don't know, idea down the road. It doesn't have to be huge, but
Yeah.
consensus.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Just more, my questions were answered, so. I like that area a little better.
how long will like this paint? How long will it survive on that brick?
Charles, you probably know better than I do.
We're using acrylic paint. If it's out in the UV range. 30 years, I mean, could
Yeah.
for a long time.
Wait.
More than 10% for sure.
The problem is the most important, right?
The day after we had it, and I went in and Brian and I walked around and some of those murals there, they still look bright. They haven't faded because they've been taken care of and they've been taken for years.
Right. And that's the key. And like you said, we're willing to do fundraising efforts to keep it. We don't want it, and that's part of this is longevity. They don't want to just throw money at something that's not already kept up. So we want to do our part to make sure that it stands the test of time.
Probably gonna protect the brick a little bit too, as
Yeah.
far as that you put the ceiling on and that too. From swallowing that.
Just as you're considering, you went through some of the major elements of the history of book of Copial, something you'd like to be a part of the discussion is maybe even using an image from another hiker.
Yeah.
She's our most popular, well-known artist from the area. She painted, themes that are represented in here and just had a very distinctive style. And so
I agree.
she
And we've also talked about possibly maybe incorporating something with the Copeland Miracle, which I know is a sensitive topic. But living outside here for 10 years, 15 years, whenever I said I was from Cokeville, 90% of the time it was, oh, the Cokeville Miracle. And we need to be sensitive 100%. But if we could, even if it was just an angel, something that might, we need to be really sensitive. But I don't know, I think it'd be fun. It is a huge part of Cokeville.
Yeah.
So if that's something that we need to get more pull on in the community, I don't know.
I would say that would come down to the selection process. So
Right, whatever artist does it in a way that's very tactful and, yeah. But that might be in our parameters if
hold on a second.
that's okay.
One thing is, I think we gotta remember one thing is agriculture built this community.
Right, right.
And I think it needs to be focused towards that in a good percentage way, you know.
I agree. The other thing we have to also consider with this grant is it's not just Oakville. It has to encompass some of the US histories, which is why we have to hit some of those points with like the Oregon Trail things. So it does have to have a few different elements, but I totally agree. So much of this area is all brought about because of agriculture.
I don't think why it couldn't have all of them. You know, so,
It's just very specific grant.
no, I'm saying, I don't know why. it
Oh,
shouldn't
totally. That's what we want to try to do
features.
in a way that's tasteful, because sometimes if you have, like, it'll be too much, like, or people can't follow it. They're like, wait, what's going on here? It's just gotta make sense, you know? So, and
So who ultimately decides after we?
so we'll list out the parameters very, very directly on the application for the artist on what we want to see. And then they will submit like a mock-up to us, and then we'll have a committee that selects, and then they choose what they think will best represent. Yeah. Yeah,
Well, I mean, yeah, after they've made it.
well, we can narrow it down to 3. Yeah, yeah, we could be, yeah.
I think it's a fine idea. I have a few reservations, just. Not because it's a bad idea, but because of one. Where it's going on, you know, it's gonna be broad and everything. I have reservations about what will be put on it, so I wanna make sure we cover those bases of.
Be very specific.
We are specific, we are covering those principles that say, okay, we're not putting something out there that Cokeville does not.
Right.
Before this all goes together, that whatever painting is on that, we'll get a painting.
A mock-up, yep, yep.
To
To approve, yep.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest reservations. The other reservation I have is. I would really like to get some feedback from the general public.
Okay.
Before the council makes a decision. I think it's fine to go chase this grant
Okay,
and try to go after it, in my personal opinion, but I do think it'd have value added from the general public about how their things are, because it is ultimately the public's building.
Mhm.
And they should have the say on it. That's my first reservation on that. That being said, if anybody in the Dennis,
I think if you got any questions about murals, if you get a hold of Fremont, whether it's the council or whoever does, Fremont is probably the best one I know in the country. Others have murals, but Fremont's had them for a while, and some of those I know have been there for at least 20 years.
Yeah.
But some of them are huge, and they have a whole group on there, so they might tell you something about how to take care of them and everything. And then I've never painted on bricks, so I don't know too much about it, but that's one thing I would like to put on that mural. Cokeville was the first people in the country to have a woman mayor and a woman town council. I think that would be a great thing besides the sheep industry building.
and yeah, we have that on there at the summer, and yeah, for sure. I think it's great.
But a mural, like you said, you can make it a single picture, you can make it a conglomeration of some of the ones that I see around. But Tremont probably, somebody there would have the expertise to tell you how to take care of them, how long it takes and what they do to preserve them, because they're really big. They've got whole buildings there.
yeah, I appreciate that comment, Dennis, because that is another reservation I have is. Where we don't have anything like this, we would probably need some form of education on what it would take to maintain that, and
Definitely.
again, the estimated cost, what it would take, and then also like. How do we do that?
Right,
I mean, obviously, we probably don't want to go out there with a 7,000 PSI pressure washer and start washing it off, because it would go right off, I imagine. But
right.
I think those kind of things are important, but
There's a mural going in that, it's been there for long as I can remember, going to Lander for ball games. When you go into that little town between Riverton and Lander,
Hudson.
is you make the bend, that big building there's had that mural on it for years. And it's eye catching.
Anybody else in the public have any comment they'd like to add to this? At this time? I imagine we're gonna have countless further conversations on this.
And I think one thing to remember is you're gonna have a lot of opinions, so being able to navigate those to where you're staying focused, because you're gonna have tons of ideas, so keep those parameters very strong.
Yeah.
And then keep the ones that represent Oakville the strongest as solid ideas, and then maybe just stick to those, because you're gonna have about 1,000 different ways you could go. For good or for
Right.
or not,
Right.
but I think it's gonna be really awesome to have Cookville represented.
There's only 500 people here, but you'll have 10,000 different ideas.
And, you know, just in generally thinking, what's the purpose of this? Is it primarily to tell a story in the history? Or is it to really build the brand? Which still kind of needs to be developed, where you can tie your tourism, your other
Right,
messaging too.
right.
So that really will impact the decision process.
And how the edgy plays into that.
Right. Yes, for sure. And we got a letter to be in partnership with the library, the town library, as far as putting some histories out that can allow people maybe a booth, something up. That gets people to come in and, get more interested in our town's history that will help contribute to all of this as well. So that,
Have them studies before they come up with a weird idea.
I mean, that would be a good idea, yeah.
It's hard to be all with it, bro. It's abstract.
That's how we want to get the ball rolling as we define is quickly.
I'll say this just seems that they probably need to have a motion to approve the beautification week when that is there.
Okay.
I make that motion that we approve that. The committee to get that correct.
The other second. Moved by previous second by Charles, any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. As we're still on beautification committee, I got a few things I'd like to talk to them about. So part of our impact, I hope you're paying attention, Brittany.
Yes. I'll stop talking.
Part of our impact money that are coming in from the Terra Power have to do a few signage in town. We are required to replace all of our safety signage first, which there's no way it will eat up all those dollars. But as part of that, we have wayfinding and tourism signs that we can put into that.
Okay, great.
So I would like to entertain the council would approve the beautification committee helping us to head that up with some signage and making some of that, all that branding come together and make it all kind of uniform across the board.
Maybe you can
Council is agreeable. That's what we can do.
I'm fine with it.
So,
Great.
like I said, it's gonna be, we have, just so everybody's aware, we have $30,000 slated for new signage in town, which is quite a chunk of the dollars for signage. We will have all new safety signage, all new street signs, everything with that. With a few spares put on the shelf. The instance that somebody like myself gets a little crazy on the side by side or something that takes a stop sign.
Do you guys have any recommendations as to what you want to see besides like ski resort or like? Just
So the biggest thing is for wayfinding signage, I think we need to have some like, at least some directional stuff here. And all the hard thing is all this signage has to reside within the city limits. We can. budget to the outskirts edge a little bit, but not really. So like, we can have signs that say ski resort this way, and you know,
High school.
What about a cultural, I know Dennis asked this a couple months ago, but I don't remember, and it's cultural sign on the other side, that would include that? Thanks.
so the cultural sign on the north side, we could do.
But not as grandiose as the other one.
No, they don't want us to use all the budget. It's on one
In
strap.
fact, a little bit of a lawyer and what that would cost to do today, but
Yeah,
We would like to.
that would eat up the 30,000.
Like to see like, oh, the library this way.
I think the park too.
That, you know, the 3 corners sign that we have downtown, refresh that with something that's a little bit more better and. Kind of getting the direction for that going. We could possibly even move that one that's there out to there. The 3 corners. So I only did the schools. Kind of
Where I live, you'd be surprised how many people stop. Like to think that people that fix the Colville sign there. I hardly ever go by in the summer that somebody's not got their family or somebody there taking a picture of it.
it's been pretty popular even this year now that it's gotten refreshed. I mean, there's
That's why I
a few cars out there, so. But yeah, so
Stopping.
all those,
Keep stopping.
all the things that people would need to know about the park, whatever, if there's any kind of tourism thing that like might represent a history of the town, we would like to include that kind of stuff.
Okay.
If that, like,
Okay.
I'm gonna use the Olson place because it's a pretty old ranch. You could kind of use some
Yeah.
tourism around there. This is the Olson place, giving me quick history on it, you know what I mean?
I'm not.
Okay, we will move on to resolutions with ordinances.
Did you? Presentation.
Oh, yes, go ahead. I don't know why I'm thinking, good job.
Well, thank you. Mayor, council. My name is Bob King. I'm the Economic Development Director for Lincoln County. If I can, I'd like to pass out some information. I want to talk a little bit about the semi-quincentennial. And this has got what the county's planning on doing.
Declaration of Independence.
I appreciate what your committee is doing as far as going after the grants. As you know, the grant that's available, the state set aside $2 million state grant. Each community can go after $25,000 maximum. The county we were only able to go after $10,000, and we were awarded $8,900 in the grant that we have in mind. You'll notice that in the packet, the very first thing is a community guidebook. I'm sure you may already have that. It's just for your review. The next is the eligibility criteria for the communities and NGOs. Just talking about the things that's going on. The last I talked with Nick Nyland, who is the parks person at the state, I asked him how much money is left. And he said 75% is still sitting there. So that's a good indicator that we can still go after the money as far as the community goes. I know the NGOs are starting to pick up their requests. They can go after $25,000 themselves. So it will thin out as we go through this. The next item that I've got punched in there is actually the quincentennial plan that I put together in the grant that I wrote. It goes through the cost that we put together on it, a little bit of a timeline and what we're going to do when and how we're going to get that done. The next thing I have in the folder is a map that we use for and this is just an example, but it's one that we use for the 100th birthday for Lincoln County. This is what we're going to produce for the scavenger hunt part of this quincentennial. We'll have probably 25 items in North Lincoln County, 25 items in South Lincoln County. You guys will have whichever way you want to go. We'll go ahead and identify them on the back. We'll probably have questions about each one of the opportunities. Again, this is just an example. What we want them to do is we want them to visit those sites, take a picture of themselves and their family at the site, answer the question, email it into an address that we will provide so that they can be selected to receive a what we call a challenge card. This is the one that we designed for the county. And this design represents a lot of things in the county, as you can tell. This will be a 2-inch diameter coin. What we have talked with other communities about doing is taking the back of the coin and have that for themselves. You come up with a design for that coin. The setup fee for the whole coin is $250. The cost is $4.50 a piece right now. I could go up, but we'll see. The county is going to produce 2,000 of these coins that you're seeing right here. We would like to see the communities do something on the back. And when we make the presentation, if they visit all the sites, that's where we get an entire set of coins. One from the county and one for each incorporated community within the county. And that's what you can include this sort of thing in your grant as well. When you start looking at that. The next thing that we have, the very last thing I have in here is the award ceremony. We intend to have an award ceremony in Afton and one in Plymouth, at the event center in each county. And it'll be about 45 minutes. The commissioner would like to present the coins to the people that are successful in this scavenger hunt. And also looking to have some dignitaries there as well. A lot of things have to be figured out on this one yet. And again, this is the very beginning stages. We've got about 9.5 months before this celebration. It's really important. I think the mural that you guys are looking at is a huge asset for the community. I think it'll be great for the community. Renewing their times. That's just a wonderful thing. And I agree with whoever was talking about folks taking pictures of your big sign coming from the south. I myself go through here quite a little bit. I see a lot of people take. So it's a great cool. Most of the communities I've been to already and talked with them briefly about what's going on. I've talked to their different communities. I think we're moving forward because most of the communities going to do this. I worried a little bit about it, just because they're so small, but I think they can still go after the $25,000 and use it to do some things there. I will be going around and visiting each one of the sites that will be on this map. And so I have locations, a flat along for those that are in the GPS, and that sort of thing, so they can find them. Some of them are going to be easy to find, some won't be very easy. It'll be a little bit of a drive to get to some of them, but I think it's important that they go and visit areas within our county and learn the history and take their families with them. I'd certainly entertain any questions. I know that was a fast review, and I hope that by dropping off all this material, we can review it. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact me.
Well, if I see here on your scavenger hunt deal, where you've got a lot of these monuments here. One that's very important in Lincoln County, especially in our end, is the Nancy Hill graves. It's not on there.
Remember, this was done in 2011.
Oh, okay.
This isn't the map we're going to use. Those are the kind of things I want to hear, because then I'll make sure it's on there. As you guys know, we're going to certainly do a lot of things with the Lander Trail, since it was the first federally funded highway west of the Mississippi. That's a big deal. The coin will represent. The way I designed this coin, when you guys, I'm not honest. I use ChatGPT and put in all these different parameters for our county and said, and then I asked AI to design or give me a digital rendition. This is what it came up with. Now you'll notice that some of the words are spelled wrong. So even though AI is smart, it still misspells words. There's so many guys smart. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but I know that a lot of communities they've looked at this now, the coin portion of it is almost like a competition between all the towns, just to come up with the best one. You can do your own. We're not asking that you do this. If you decide to do it, that's great. If you want to do your own coin by yourself, that's fine too.
So how is the coin, how do people get the coin?
Well, I should have brought that up. Number one, the coins will give you everything. But we also would like to have some sitting here at your town hall. They can help them to purchase that thing after this whole event is over. So there's some recouping that you can do with this coin as well. A lot of folks use these coins with people that come and visit their community. Maybe it's a governor, maybe it's a representative somewhere, and they give them a coin and to remember their community. They do it on challenge, going to a big deal for the military, but a big deal for law enforcement. A lot of folks collect them. Yeah, we've been going on for years.
Do we have, as part of that, did we have, because, you know, the Lander Trail is Large Creek and part of that, and it's so much history of the Large Creek that people don't know, and right there, the Tri-County thing and stuff, and the graves that are up there, it's just very cool.
Yeah, we're working with the Historical Society in Athens as well as to ID these places that we think are important and get people out. We're working a little bit backwards on the timing because some of these places they've already identified for me probably won't melt out very quickly. It's may be hard to get to some. So we're going to work backwards to do that and see how quickly you'll have to start scattering or not. It won't start until most likely April or May. And so we'll have a little bit of a timeline that we'll do in all these different places.
How long is the timeline? Like,
Well, if we start in May or April, we'll go to the 4th. Yeah, and we probably will cut off a little bit before the 4th, maybe the 1st. But we can go through all the people that have gone out and done it, and then we can give notifications and let them know see us. We're gonna have some of the schools involved, writing essays for sure, working with the schools on that.
Because Elizabeth's grave is at the Large Creek. I know the sign was destroyed once and they had to put it back up, but that's a lot of history.
Yeah. And I also know that the Forest Service is supposed to remonument
Yes.
the Lander Trail since they pulled it out. Any other questions?
So participation in this, are we doing this as a team effort with the county, or are we doing this? I guess that's the thing.
You know, we're kind of working together, really. We're trying to get every person from each one of the communities to be on our committee to give us input so that we can make sure we cover everybody's needs on once. We're certainly not pushing anything off on the communities. We want to do something. The whole community.
I'd entertain the council to what's their thoughts on.
we go over the cost of the coin. There's 2 costs that you.
Yeah. The setup fee is $250.
We've been to, so.
Right, and that's for both sides of the coin, you only doing one. Look at doing, you guys doing the back, us doing the front. Cost down.
So that, is that 250%, even though they've done the front side, they're still gonna charge the 250?
No, it'll be probably 100 and a quarter.
Okay.
From the back side, and then 450 a piece. That's the quote I've got from it.
450.
$4.50.
Shoes.
We're gonna do 2,000 as far as the county goes. I've been told that won't be enough. Which we once they get this design and in their hand, we can have them strike these coins for years to come. That's what we decided.
Okay.
But once you got setup fee, if you needed to make more,
They already have it. There's no setup.
you just do the. rebate.
There may be a minimum, right? I mean, you probably couldn't find some, send them 5. You know, these things.
Sure.
There'll probably be a minimum order size, but right now we're looking at 2,000. I haven't ordered any coins yet because I wanted to see what the community wanted to do.
That's cool. Have some cool stuff on the back there.
I think the coin idea. If I had like the coin idea.
Too.
And we're gonna, like I say, we're probably, since we received our grant, and by the way, that grant, there's a minimum to $2,500. They won't take any grants below that. And 25,000 is the high end. We sent our grant in a long time ago. And it's a volunteer selection group. It takes them a while to go through the selection part. Once they're selected, it goes to the Attorney General's office, and mine sat there for 30 days before they signed it. And then that's when they'll get back.
That's because you're paying with already know it.
60 days.
Whatever, we'll be 180. I'm not very popular off the state level right now.
I did call them, I said, hey, what's going on? And she said, well, you can't plug in for the first 30 days, and then I come back and ask them what's going on, and as soon as the 30 days are up, they signed it, so.
So I just did some quick math. Without the setup fee figured in there, if we did 250 coins, it would be $1,125 at the $4.50.
And
but
actually, in order, that price would probably.
And if we order together, that's where we need to be.
what's that?
I was just saying, we just need to make sure we order when the county orders, so it's. all
Yeah,
the same.
but that's what I'm trying to figure out is, but I'm trying to figure out money wise. So if we wanted to go down this road, how many and the amount wise, what we do.
What do you suspect that you would sell them if, what is the value that you can?
I'd give them a little bit of profit for you. Whatever you guys determine. If it does cost us $4.50, you might want to sell them for $7 or $8. It's up to you.
People would pay for that. I mean,
You're exactly right.
I mean, they're gonna.
For something that commemorates the county or that does, that's a big deal. So I think you'll have a lot of people, once you get this on your website, and we have it on our website, you'll probably have people requesting that thing. All over.
Yeah, I think so too.
Then you get to the cheapskates that back on that back road back there. They know what we paid for them, then we'll give you any more back.
Shame on it.
Yeah, I've got one over there giving me a $5 bill.
But it is an opportunity for you to recoup some of those costs.
Yeah. No,
You-
Yeah, I mean, those would sell many years later.
Exactly.
When would you have, when would you want your order? How soon?
I would really like to be able to order them. In December.
December.
The first of December would be great. I don't want to buy any fresh, but we got it. That's a lot of points for these folks to produce for us. They, we're using the same products that, the sheriff's department uses. I believe they installed 6. And I called them, they'll want your design in a PDF file format. And I'll get back with you on the resolution that they expect. So that they can have a nice crisp.
Okay.
You can almost pre-order for the funding standpoint. If people paid in advance. And you can have them on the check.
Well, I guess off the cuff, how many employees you think done go for a week is ordering food?
I would suspect whatever we think.
Yeah.
Because your
Put
first,
that
yeah,
there. Yeah, like the pyramid idea, I love that, because then you can have a quantity already in mind.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to look in the budget, see where we could pull some funds from if we could cover it, so that's why I need to have a kind of a base number there. Does that make sense why I'm asking that?
I really think. I mean, if we.
Obviously, if we sell some, we can order more, problem with that, but it's just a matter of. Initial.
They needed $25,000.
I would think with coins.
We could do that.
We could add it in here, we could put it as a line item, something that we could put some of this as like a commemorative. Add it to a ribbon cutting ceremony, come get a coin, I don't know, we could put a line item in here that was. Might cover, I don't know, what is that, how much does 500 times 450, what is that?
2250.
That's, I mean, you might need more than 500. I don't-
Yeah.
It's a good place to
I
start.
can tell you when you do this, if you have an idea, and you, on something like this, it's always gonna be more than your idea.
So I think 1,000. Double that.
I was also.
I agree with that. I think start on small.
500.
Yeah. I think the 500.
If that's $4,500, we put it at 1,000.
My initial thoughts were. On average, we have about 250 families in town.
But I know like all of my siblings would totally.
Right.
One and their kid,
You're gonna have people that don't even live in town
yeah,
that grew up here.
Well, what I'm thinking is, you know, if everybody in town.
But Jim, yeah. I suggest they invite Whitby, that's nice.
So,
And who's gonna work on the coin?
so that's the next thing to be covered first.
Because you can give it to us. Yeah, Wallace Idaho, when they did theirs, they were $25 a coin. And they sold it out.
I would suggest. This is my 2 cents that you can carry to the other communities that as a county, we are aligned on our pricing of what our quotes are, so. I think it would be ridiculous if we're charging $8 and Bane's charging 12 and, you know, Denver's charging 15.
They get a single show.
That's
So.
But I am agreeing, honestly, I don't see why, I think anything lower than $10. I think at 10 flat.
Honestly, I think $20 is more like it,
I do
because
too.
they could walk in.
Yeah.
A $20 bill down. You know,
But I do like something that's just simply in the 5 increments, you know, either a 10 or 15 or 20,
yes, I agree.
not like a 12. Don't-
yeah.
People are gonna drop a $5 bill before they'll, I'd rather drop a 5 than try to look for 2.
I don't even know where to
Use the proceeds to take payments online, if
Yeah.
my teaching for years ago.
But I do think, like you say, I think you now should come out with a set thing and say, this is what I need, and then nice request everyone stays equal.
I mean, so right now.
And you could do it.
It's this.
Time like buy it and you can't call.
I don't know, we can stop that.
It's 20. And then that gives urgency.
Yeah.
Do 15 and 20. 15 during the, 20 after. There's my feedback.
So. But Wade and I kind of produced a budget over here.
What line are you looking at?
10, 46, 10.
Huh?
Yeah, for the function. So I allocated the next audience.
Underwear.
10, 44, 6, 10 on page 6.
Administration. Work on that.
That's what we have allocated for the year, also miscellaneous funding. I think we'd be okay taking 500. 500 points of that.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, the one thing about that is that account is kind of like
Still over.
spillover.
Right.
We lose something that we have. Whereas this early in the year, and throws a copy of the
Right.
That's the only place I see where we could go.
That's the only, other than community events, but she's still got 2 other community events.
And then you guess the light.
Yeah.
We have to think of that.
Which I think we might be able to cover that, but I'm not.
Well, I mean, hopefully we don't have to cover just that part, the one that's not.
No.
And then maybe why do you do that? Three. Yeah, we still have to maybe put some of that. Maybe. Split hairs. I'm you're, every one of my kids is gonna have one of those toys.
Yeah.
I mean, you get one kid having it, I mean, so each family, just in town, you're gonna sell 500 just in our own town.
Somehow.
And you're gonna have. I'm
Just
pretty
gotta
sure,
sell as a one kid in school and they're gone.
yeah. You should have seen fidget spinners.
Right now, Whitney's got all our kids' Christmas money.
Maybe, I think, you know, something where. For a family, it's just lower the cost.
Yeah, we,
Good idea. So those are the 3 costs I did. Have a higher after the time's over with. But if a family is buying 5, you're buying more coins than there's a discount. That's set by.
Buy 4, get 1 free.
Yeah, buy 4, get 1 free, whatever.
I'm essentially not really worried about our cost right now and what we're gonna charge people. If we do that, I think we need to.
Well, I just think
Yeah, but I think I really feel.
well, that's not for us. I was saying it was the suggestion for the county.
Yeah.
That's like, what we would do is we would take that to our community.
Yeah.
So if all the communities would be talking, get it just around.
Sure.
Very cool.
Does it come in like a sleeve or anything like that, do you know?
They'll come back, there's come with a plastic sleeve that has a slip in there, of course, the people that strike the coins will have their advertising
yeah.
there. That's just for what they do.
I'm suggesting. Just buy 500 and make everybody volunteer before they can get a coin.
Hey.
If you don't volunteer, you don't get a coin.
So they have to put like 10 hours of shifts.
Gets child labor law, so kids do.
Keep it 500. Yeah.
We're gonna be walking around with empty pockets.
Well, I was thank you.
It's awesome.
I found that out, so thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah.
Want to make a decision on that tonight or not?
I'd say that's, I mean, that. I don't know.
How long do we have to get to the county before they do the strike? December. We have a month, we can make a decision when it's supposed to be, we go, maybe go over cities.
Last, I think one of the decisions we should make tonight is trying to get the communities. Get a number, what they're wanting.
This is what you need to get a design too. so
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean. That would help you make a decision on what number it would be. Think you gotta.
So there's two things that we need to figure out before a decision is made. Is who's gonna design it, or what's the design gonna be?
Do you know what anybody else has decided?
Use ideas of what community thinks to. And then obviously triple to spell it correctly. But that's why AI does that, just so you have to take. You have to.
I'm sorry.
You know.
Would they do it? I don't know. Who?
I think.
Yeah, right now, kids are doing everything on AI. They would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we use Chat GPT.
Oh. That's bad.
doing it right now, got your design. Yep.
Hey, get McDonald's out of it, okay?
They'd have one side of the course, have the other side.
And then you still
Everything is in the form.
Yeah.
I suspect that they'll take their 2,000 coins to find it.
Well.
I think. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think we should. My suggestion is that I think we should somehow get it out to the community to find out how many coins they would want. We don't know a price, but just give an idea, and then that gives you an idea of the coin count. So you're gonna have a few people go, that's from the money, it's what they think it's gonna be, but who cares, that would be just what it is. But that gives you an idea of what you should be budgeting for.
Yes, yeah. So many, right now. Kobe, we buy so many now. If we need more, you can always get more money. Once we get sale, get more money. Cause we can buy that with what costs over.
Yeah, but you're gonna probably get a better coin count price. In the very big, huge order than you would. I get you can do it. It's gonna cost you more.
I agree.
Is there a minimum run?
They don't want to spoke to them about a minimum run.
It's good to know what the tiers are. 300, 500 deals. Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is when they strike these,
Yeah.
we're gonna send them the whole order. They may be looking at 8,000 coins or 10,000 coins when we make the request. And if that happens, I see that price coming down.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you knew the count, if you knew this house for sure was 300. Then you do 8.
I understand that philosophy. That.
Did you make?
It's not great.
Mine's a camera one.
Chat.
I do think it should be the community. I really like the high school thing.
I think that's.
It's just a crazy time of year when you're thinking about what everything is, if we're trying to have it done by December, we're in between. Right. State tournaments coming up. Do they have the time? I guess there are those that are not involved.
Are you
But
talking, Ben, we just did it in 5 minutes.
it's true, if they're gonna use a generated thing,
You've got
you have to
daily,
feed it the right.
They've got their
Daily,
daily
that-
classes, they can go in and.
Trust me, we're daily for. It's point designed for
No.
it.
like seriously, it'll be more structured than what it is.
I get.
Oh, I'm a believer, yes, I believe that too, but.
I think, so I would be open to the entire community participating, but I think that there should be an emphasis. I want to put an emphasis on the youth, because this is my 2 cents, and I'll get off my soapbox after this 2 cents. I think the youth need to have an excuse to be involved in what we
I do
do.
too.
You too?
I do too.
If I could say one thing, it really will build community ties as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. well,
The youth of today have different ideas.
Okay.
You don't know what they're.
Put some parameters on there like,
Hey.
oh,
We ultimately make the choice. What you're on.
It's about the competition's out there for a reason, so we can select what they produce.
It's our job to keep it in line and say, this is what our town is
have
about.
the parameters. It has to,
I got a meeting with Mr. Dietz already, so I'll just bring it up.
There's a new art teacher. She would like to do this, so.
I would imagine that that's a good place that they could really sort of.
We've already talked to Maya about the mural, and she was super excited to maybe get involved with it, so, yeah.
So they could do a lot of the ones, like, as you said, the guidelines for the larger mural,
Mhm.
just follow its guidelines, that gives you parameters, they're not to go too wild with things. You got some quality control.
You can take some of that from it too, if you put it back into like. Same thing on like.
We need to get.
We're gonna help be the winner of us, like, don't pay on books or something. On some of that problem. Guess the chat sheet you feel something. It'll be fine. So what's the budget you know you could do? Do you want to just say up to that? We'll make a decision on that.
Yeah, I think that we should.
I think that's a great idea. And if we don't have to go that high, but we'll just agree up to that. Whatever you feel like. Change it, but.
Oh, yeah.
No, man. I'm totally just saying, I think we should be with today, but.
Well, that's, you got to make the call, I don't.
Facing nothing came out, so I like.
I'm just. I don't think we can be more than that.
so it's.
So.
We need to write it out. Hold on there.
That's-
Let's just say no more than 22.50. Yeah. If we get that better price, it's gonna give us more point eight. So we'll just set it amount.
So then you got a hundred.
That's what it's all about.
Say 25. What is that? More than what you're saying.
Here on coming out of the sheet says,
It was just that, though, this. That's
why I have to. You know what, that's so maybe do a. First to see on the. And the. Reshape it.
All right.
So, yeah. It's the election.
I move the motion that. I make a motion that we $1,800 up to $1,800 Where this one is for less than.
Second. Motion by Brad to utilize it for up to $1,800, seconded by Teresa. For the coins, Centennial.
I myself think that's a little bit too much, because we could have a lot of year to go through with what we've got there.
So discussion, what do you think? Just.
We could add it to our grant line item if you would prefer the money to come from it.
Wait,
If you, we could put it in our grant line. item.
Because if we dropped it to,
use the-
1,800,
We can utilize that money.
and you know. that it can be gone.
We could match that. We could do a $2,000 line
How
item.
about whatever weeks you met?
How about you guys put what you can do and then they'll put max and they'll
Yeah, that's
pull,
fine too.
pull the best they can for it. And they did
$1,500. So. You wanna make an amendment to the motion?
And whatever you guys can't cover, Charles will take care of.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll bet no you.
He did the website work, he's upset.
That's.
Really?
At 1,500.
Look at the number. Anyway, what is the amount? Or might amend to?
I feel like a hack with it.
I feel like we need to just design.
Supposed to be a
decision.
This ideal, so it's supposed to be smart things.
I amend my review.
But look at that Hereford, they sold it to.
I rescind my.
Got that down.
Motion rescinded.
I move to motion that we approve. Options to get the design
To do, yeah, so
through the school or other means
for community competition,
Yeah,
or community competition.
great.
do I have a second?
I second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome.
And so, I will meet with Crystal Deeds and ask him if the school would be interested in participating in that. I think it'd be a great thing for their civic duties. Hopefully I can convince him.
And if the county's doing it, that's always a huge part of his worry is having to go to the school board, but if. It's something that countywide everybody's doing,
Put it
it
dead
might not look that.
whenever you talk to them.
Yeah, so I'll just ask you if we can get it.
You should have it by the next meeting.
Yeah, if we can get our, if he wants to participate, I'd like an answer to be able to participate by the end of the year.
Yeah.
If they're not, if they are, then I don't have it for one form of submissions in by our next.
By the legal side, let's call it, yeah, so moving, words,
Yeah.
maybe it was never.
Or Tracey.
What did they get if they win the competition? A free coin?
I think that's a great
Yeah, I
idea.
think it's. Yeah.
I would give them a free coin and the recognition that they're
Yeah.
designed.
But
Maybe it's black, maybe.
I will make a plaque for them with that coin embedded into
If
it.
they had like,
Or-
Well, then. Dan Moody could highlight it in the newspaper.
That's right. So yes, we'll be fine. We got it made in the shape.
I say we just got $50 on the speed, they can give them.
Good idea. I like that.
Okay.
Then we'd have to buy good houses pretty good.
Okay.
Okay. All right, now are we okay to move on to resolutions and ordinances? Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
We have the third reading for
Thanks, Robert.
Mike Kelly.
Have a good day.
which is right here.
I don't know if it matters, but Kelly is spelled EY on that.
It is on there, EY.
It's EY.
Ours isn't.
It's on the ordinance of EY.
Okay.
So that's what matters.
Not that lazy,
On the L paper, it is EY.
We got the EY now.
Since this is the third reading, this does have to be read in the entirety. And I would like to a volunteer to read that. Okay.
Okay.
First, before you read it though, I guess we probably have to have a motion to entertain this ordinance. I think I have to read that. So motion to entertain.
What's the language?
Motion to entertain ordinance 25-07.
I make a motion to entertain ordinance 15-07.
Do I have a second? All, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ordinance 25-07, an ordinance amending the zoning map of the town of Cokeville, Wyoming, to change the zoning classification of certain property owned by Michael and Brittany Kelly. Whereas the town of Cokeville has received a request from Michael and Brittany Kelly to rezone property located within the corporate limits of the town. And whereas the property is more particularly described in Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated there herein by reference, consisting of Mauer Tract A and Mauer Tract B, as surveyed by Surveyor Sherville Limited and recorded in the office of the clerk of Lincoln County, Wyoming. And whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission of the town of Cokeville has reviewed the proposed zoning change and has recommended approval. And whereas the governing body finds that the proposed zoning change is consistent with the town's comprehensive plan and promotes the health, safety, and welfare of the community. Now therefore be it ordained by the governing body of the town of Cokeville, Wyoming. Section 1. The zoning classification of the property described in Exhibit A is hereby changed from residential R to residential agriculture, RA. Section 2. The official zoning map of the town of Cokeville shall be amended to reflect the zoning change set forth in Section 1. Section 3. This ordinance shall be in force and effect from and after its adoption, approval, and publication as required by law, passed, approved, and adopted this day of October 2025. Do you want me to read the rest of this? Exhibit A, legal description, Mauer Tract A, the part of Block 7 of the Hewitt addition to the town of Cokeville of record in the office of the clerk of Lincoln County, being an attempt to more correctly describe as one tract those tracts of record in said office in book 395 of the photostatic records on page 672 and book 476 of photostatic records on page 817, described as follows. Beginning at the northwest half of block 4 of the C.R. Roberts addition to the town of Cokeville of record in said office on the east line of Sage Street of said Hewitt addition. Fence. North 01, oh my goodness, 2107 east, 125.30 feet along the west line of said block 7, identical with said east line of Sage Street to a point. Fence. South 88 degrees 21 minutes 33 seconds east 140 feet to a point. Thence north 01 degrees 21 minutes, thank you, Colby, 07 seconds east 40 feet to a point. Thence south 88 degrees 21 minutes 33 seconds east 210 feet to a point. Thence continuing south 88 degrees 21 minutes 33 seconds east 53.57 feet to a position on the easterly line of said block 7. Thence south 09 degrees 01 minutes, 55 seconds west, 164.49 feet along said easterly line to a position of intersection with the easterly extension of the north line of said C.R. Roberts addition. Thence, north 88 degrees, 41 minutes, 5 seconds west, 338.59 feet along said easterly extension and said north line to the cap of beginning, encompassing an area of 1.35 acres, more or less, and Mauer Tract B, the north 6 feet of lot 1 and of lot 2 and of lot 3 of block 4 of said C.R. Roberts addition, secondarily described as follows. Beginning at said northwest cap of block 4, thence south 1 degree 21 minutes 07 seconds west, 6.00 feet along the west line of said block 4, identical with the east line said Sage Street Twin Point. Thence south 88 degrees 41 minutes 05 seconds east, 343.84 feet to a point on the easterly line of said block 4. Thence north 23 degrees 13 feet 13 minutes, thank you, Colby, 17 seconds east, 6.47 feet along said easterly line to northwest point said block 4. Thence north 88 degrees 41 minutes 05 seconds west, 346.25 feet along the north lines of said block 4 to the cap of beginning, encompassing an area of 0.05 acres more or less. And this is the third reading, correct?
Yes.
Town of Cokeville. That it?
What did it mean? Do I have a motion to approve ordinance 25-07?
Motion made.
Second.
Motion by Wayne, second by Tracey. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
You guys didn't want to change your mind, right?
Motion
Well,
carries.
we check, or did I already pay that? That's the question.
We'll take another one.
A donation of 500 coin,
That'll work.
but no, did I pay it on application? I can't remember. I know I paid a fee for the application, but I didn't know if I. Hold on, what's this?
I honestly could not tell you right now.
All right, thank you.
Good. Public comments, communications. Anybody have any extra public comment? We went through a lot of stuff today.
Yes,
Knock on wood, make it pretty good time. Considering.
stay in the yard.
When you decided to read that, I want to.
No, that's okay.
No public comment. We'll move on to the reports from officers, boards and committees. We'll start with Councilman Nate. We're gonna get down the streets and grounds.
He's not here, but I believe they filled in some, did you guys filled in that road, right?
Yeah, right there on the corner.
On Oak to Buffalo. So they filled that up before the winter. I'm sure they'll have to fill them in the spring, but anyway, yeah. And then. Yeah, that's what they've done. This one says the last time. I haven't heard anything. That any of the buildings need any specifically in this. I haven't been told, but no door knob issues, anything like that, so.
No, recently,
So, we're good.
I noticed there's already a hole right there at Main and Sage. My tire hit it today. But that's a state, it's there every year. So. I'm interested.
Is it before or after the cement? That's what I'm saying. It's on the state side.
Is that during the crosswalk or not?
Mhm.
Was that,
It's-
crosswalk with kids in it or not? Was the
No.
It's just,
Don't worry, it wasn't yours.
a speed limitation.
You're right, you drove into it.
I just drove right into it.
Do you have any word on it? No, that's pretty much it.
Teresa?
Um. Santa Claus, let me find it. So, working with the school. And, what they're doing is it'll be on the 23rd of December. And we're working with the library again. Santa Claus will be there, Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there at 8:15 in the morning until noon. And they're gonna do things a little bit different. They're gonna put a stuffed animal and a color book in the bag. And then, they're trying to cut down on the candy issue. And so, they really liked the oranges that we did last year. So we'll do the little oranges again this year. So for that. And well, oh well. The library decided the kids have gotten enough cavities. And so, and then the Halloween carnival is the 23rd of October. And I think, yeah, at the PTO, and they were supposed to do a PTO walkthrough today. Did anybody know if they did that at the commons at the high school?
To go. I didn't see what I'm saying.
I was busy, so I didn't. Did they do it?
Yes.
Good, thank you. So they were getting ready to do the Halloween carnival. They did their walkthrough today at the commons at the high school. And it will be 6 till 8 o'clock at the commons at the high school. And there will also be a color contest for the Halloween carnival. Kindergarten through first grade, first and third grade, and then 4th till 6th. So, and then of course Halloween's on the 31st. So I do believe that's all I got.
Good question. Is your conversation with the school about the recreation access to the school?
No, but I can't include that in it.
Okay,
That is more of on the school board level that
Yeah.
making that conversation.
Okay.
So,
great, thank you.
Yeah, because it sure would be nice to be able to have that. So, but that's all I have.
we'll have a decision in that class.
Yeah, great, okay, good, thanks.
Wayne?
Okay, before I get going tonight, I'd like to recognize a gentleman back there in the back. He's a former Cokeville. He graduated from Cokeville High School. His mom and dad ran the grocery store here for a lot of years.
Who's that?
Right back there, Boyd Nelson.
Oh,
Right there.
yeah.
We'd like to recognize him. He's an old Cokeville guy. So. Glad to have you, Boyd. It's nice to be here. Okay, getting out for water and sewer. I see they're lining the sewer line down there.
Yep.
And it's coming all right. Everything doing.
Yeah, they have to do one section a day.
Yeah.
So they'll be here all week, but yeah, they got the first 2 sections in, everything went well.
Good. All right. And as far as the water goes, I see no issues there, but I wanna, maybe I'm overstepping a little bit, but I don't think I am, because it's where you guys dug over there in front of the old Catholic church. And on Pearl Street, in front of the old Betty Renfre's old house. I recommend that pile of cold mix that you got down in your yard down there. Load it up, put it in the back of your dump truck. Put your dump truck in your shop and turn up the heat. For about 3, 4, maybe even 5 days. And it goes down about 3 feet, about 3 inches. Put that cold mix on top.
3 feet.
I read.
We're not gonna have any more gold mix.
And then that'd be, because come springtime, that's still set, all you're gonna have is bog hole.
Yeah.
So, but if you put that in your truck and put it in the building, turn your heat up. Let it heat up for 3, 4, 5 days. It'll go down pretty easy. You might have to wait till you get held back, but that's, you got, but
Come on, Chief Cooking.
I'd recommend that very highly. As far as the airport goes, I haven't heard much back from Jason.
No, Not yet, he's still working on some details on it, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as far as that goes, it's still kind of standing still, but he's still doing some late work on that, so we'll just leave that alone until we hear more. Outside of that, I don't have anything else.
As far as they did go through and did just some lines through town.
And I have,
Yeah.
I don't know how many phone calls you ended up getting, but like when I went home, my phone was ringing, and I had 2 phone calls from people who, their toilet broke. Because, and they want to know why we forgot to let them know they were doing it.
We haven't ever let them know in the past.
Oh, yeah, they let me know. Yes, they have. They let me know, and I was prepared. They told me what to do.
I'm gonna tell you, we've never let them know in the past.
How'd you prepare?
I took, put a towel, lift up the first lid, the second lid, because we did this in Eden, Idaho. And put a towel and a rug and put them down there with a brick on it, and so it hit it, but it didn't go all over. And I did it in both toilets.
When they clean the lines, it's pushing air through
Right.
the hose. And
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
pushing their own water out. the toilets.
Yeah. But it-
Not flush, you might have a problem.
Right.
If you didn't forget to flush. That should be clean water. That being said, we have not ever notified people in the past, but that is not saying that we can't notify people going forward.
Are they done? And it was today, the last day?
That's the last day. Yes. We get a certain amount of feet out of them for what we do and.
So what do they do?
So
Flushing the sewer line.
the sewer lines,
Legit,
no, it's a big jet wash. So they wash the inside of the sewer lines, cause it gets corroded with grease, and there's some places where like treatments will penetrate through the joints. It's blood spots, sort of plugs off, and then they get little spots that will catch stuff. And
Yeah.
Eventually, over time, what happens is it will back up in your house and you will have a problem. So
I guess it's almost every year at this time.
every year we do a certain amount of town. We don't do the whole town, we just do whatever. We try to get a cycle so we can stay on top of it, so we don't have a problem. But there is, I mean, then people can be upset by having water come out of their toilet, but I guarantee you they'd be more upset if they flush, so. They need to learn to understand it, so things have to happen. Well, yeah, that's what. Charles?
We had one building permit application, Bill King submitted an application essentially to bring a storage cargo container. Instead of, I had seen like the west side of his home. Went through, the size, the cost, you have all the documentation, the height.
It's probably not in your package.
Yes, we, yes, we-
And we don't have any ordinance against storage containers in residential areas.
That you have one that's allows them.
Yeah, we have to allow.
Yes. Yeah, ordinance allows storage containers, because there's some restrictions.
You guys can get permission first.
Yeah, you have to,
40 foot, 20 foot, you don't need permission.
if they exceed 250 square foot, you have to have it passed through the council, but there are restrictions on it that. They should be painted and matched closely to the house. Or structure.
On any side.
Or any size.
On any side.
Yes.
But is this permanent or just?
So I, we had a conversation about this, and there's, I don't think we have, options that are interested.
I would, that would be a motion.
I make a motion that we approve Bill King's, building permit application.
I second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
I-
Carries.
Sarah, quick question, anything to report from South Lincoln? EDC, we didn't speak before, but I wonder if you have anything.
Not really right now. They have, as far as maybe something that could affect us, nothing really new as far as TerraPower. I mean, they're still building. They should be done with metal beams pretty soon. Those metal beams, not soon, but they've started putting up metal beams to actually do the constructions they're hoping to get. Their licensing through the RNC completed and granted by the end of the year. I don't know how that is working with the government shutdown though, if that's explained them. And then there will be a truck stop being built over there too. So I don't know how that'll affect Cokeville, but it's definitely a project for South Lincoln County. And then that's about all. It's been pretty.
Robert did.
He called Dollar General, right?
Yeah, the install agenda.
The install one,
Yeah.
just to see if it would be a possibility, but
So.
Okay, cool.
And I knew about that, but I didn't know if that was made public yet, so good to know that it's public, so.
Okay, and it sounds like when they go to the big construction phase, and Colby probably know about this too. They're going with third-party contractors essentially, and so they hiring through Bechtel.
Yeah, so Bechtel is currently hiring through different contractors, so it's like third-party contractors. And then come this spring, they will actually be doing the direct hiring when it comes to, I think, more of their engineers and electricians. Coming, so I did just check their page and there weren't any like new job listings, and I've looked with the Department of Workforce Services too, because they have to report all of their stuff, who they're contracting through and through there, and there wasn't like anything really doable for us. But I do have some people in mind that I'm like, once that opens, I'm gonna let them know this is gonna be a great way to stay here for a couple of years. So if you can get on with them. So other than that, there's not really much as far as the TerraPower front.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Let's see, we talked yesterday about, master plan. I think the intent is to have a workable copy by the end of the year, but as we discussed yesterday, we'll do a deeper dive in terms of community engagement and so forth. So we'll have a copy that's needed, especially for grant application, things like that. So the target is the end of the year. But we met with John Park yesterday, and he's willing to assist us in general planning, but getting our master plan developed specifically. I'd just be kind of curious from the council, having a little time to sleep on his comments, things like that. Was there anything else that stood out to you after his presentation?
I was really impressed, and Colby wrote them down too. Those 4 things in that general plan, and I liked the way he said it. And when I looked back onto there, I added one. And could I mention those? So in the general plan, number 1, and these are questions we ask ourselves. What do we have that we want to keep? So you think about it. In Cokeville, what do we have here that we want to keep? What do we have that we don't want anymore? What do we want that we don't have? What do we not want that we do not have? So that was a thought. And then one more that he mentioned further in his talk, when he was visiting with us. What do we want to be that we are not? So when we talk about that general plan, those are the ideas right there. So I was impressed with him.
One thing I liked about it is he he looked at things from our point of view,
Yes, he did.
on a small town.
And he's familiar with
And
this.
he's pretty down to earth and he's, I like these comments, what do you have to say?
My 2 cents is, and I think I even told him this yesterday, is that. You know, I've sat through quite a few presentations in my. Few years that I've been here in the council. And he is the first person that's come. Not trying to sell us something that's outside of our ideas, he was just.
Right.
Presenting bullet points of for us to work from, not. Trying to build it into something that Coco.
He
Appreciate that.
wanted us to give him our ideas so he could work with it.
And that's what that's why I appreciated what he had to offer. It wasn't. It was, so
Seemed like a nice guy.
I did, I'll have some stuff covered in my section that I gleaned from what he had, but.
Okay. So the next step on this, I've been trading phone calls with them. And I'm saying, well, just by next month, have the cover roadmaps to recommend. And we can, talk about, figure out what makes sense as a council, but yeah, I appreciate his willingness to provide some, some sort of guides, deep experience with these kinds of things. Just another thing, this is, county tourism, we're looking at having a brand and identity workshop. I'm hoping in November, we'll decide on probably Thursday night. It'd be nice to have some representatives from Cokeville, because we need to have the same conversation. We were saying, what is the brand for the county as a whole? So we are face to the world, whatever. What is our identity, and the same conversation is take. So I'd like the approval to invite kind of anyone who'd like to participate. We'll be working with a professional facilitator who just kind of shows you how to do it, and then we can build upon that. And the other thing is, so they're starting to print the business directories. The chamber's going to pay about 250 directories for all the businesses. Josie Bewig did a great job of actually gathering a lot of businesses I didn't even know about under the Cokeville. So we look in the directory, there's like a page on Minerva Tiger, there's a page on the history of Cokeville, there's our business directories, their advertisements and so forth. And so each of the communities, each of the members of the community receive those. And they said they prefer just to direct mail them. So those will be going out probably in a couple of weeks. Just to provide, incentivize commerce or provide information to increase commerce between members of the community. So that's all I have.
Good. I got a few things, Norm. I apologize. Some of it is last minute, and I don't expect a decision to be made on it today. Just for the 2 cents that are there. First thing is the impacts siding. I need to provide an update on. I went through a pre-hearing meeting today in LaBarge for the. I can't recall what it's called, Blue something, but it's the helium plant up there that they're going to put in. We went through pre-hearing and had 0 objections to our admission into that through pre-hearing. The next hearing will be on October 28th. As a matter of reference, we are requesting $1,171,000 and some change to do some upgrades to the sewer plant that'll be able to accommodate sewage for the county. That being said, we'll know if we get those dollars awarded to us on the 28th.
This one?
Yep.
And that's from the pre-hearing.
Pre-hearing was today. The actual hearing will be on the 28th.
The county supporting this.
The county is fully supporting it.
Right.
We weren't initially into the impacts though of the business, but because we are doing the county driven impact, we are being allowed into it with their support. been kind of an interesting thing. We got all new people. The other things that I've got, some of it stem from yesterday's conversation. When you go in your packing, there was things that were paper clipped together, and the reason why there was paper clipped together is because I don't expect a decision now. If you feel like they're good and clean enough that we can go forward with them, I'm fine with that, but I would expect you to review these. First thing that was on your list is after yesterday's conversation with Mr. Parker, I was sitting here thinking about a vision, a mission statement, and some core values. I think every community in the world should have these things, and I don't believe we have these things. I drafted some things that kind of would fit. I fully expect that there's some tweaking that needs to go on with this. I would hope that with some review, maybe we can get something to where we can have a decision to draft a vision, mission, and core values by next month's meeting. But the council would like to review that, I would appreciate it. Also, part of the impact fees that we are currently getting are for electronic upgrades and things like this. And so I have in your packets the items to purchase to be able to broadcast this meeting, get better sound and some things. I haven't got the TVs and the brackets in there yet, because I haven't got them fully priced or found which one to be proper. But this stuff that's initially in there would get us to where we could broadcast. If we yeah. Part of that being, also had some recent trainings on electronic stuff, and there's some raised concern, not only just with myself, but I had a conversation with our town lawyer today about this stuff as well. And he's had some instances where he's had to deal with the other parties that he represents. But I put in your packets a electronic device policy in the town, and then I also put in a policy for social media and internet use policy for the town employees and officials. Again, I think these are up for review and interpretation. It was requested that we send these policies to the lawyer after we get them drafted to make sure they meet the legal muster. So that I think we need to do our due diligence in trying to make sure we hit the points as best we can. And the council so asked me to review those items and be prepared for next month meeting. That being said, let's talk about electronic devices real quick. Part of that training was the ties that we have without using our personal devices with what we have as elected officials. There's an open exposure to where if a lawsuit or something, or Freedom of Information Act or something like that was filed, there's a potential where your personal device could be confiscated and anything that's attached to it could be looked at. Been recommended that we obtain a device for anybody that's got to do official capacity, whether it's like email, text message, pictures, all sorts of anything that's like that with an official capacity, they should have a device. So I'm proposing that we use part of these impact monies that we have to purchase a device for the council members, and we would need to purchase one for Tracey as well. So that she can have a device to be able to send messages back and forth through the town, not just the devices. My first initial thought was an iPad, and it was suggested by Brad that we use something more PC related. Probably more conducive to being utilized with websites and email a little easier for most people. He recommended that with Microsoft Surface, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I haven't got prices on those, but I would like to entertain a motion to be able to go and obtain prices and look for quotes and costs for those. And I think we should get them sooner rather than later. I would be willing to entertain a price cap if that would suit the council. I think as it stands right now, we will have about $10,000 of the impact we spent with those devices that we don't. Then we have remaining $10,000 we could utilize.
What's the total for just this ring?
Right now, it's just with what we got selected is about 6, and I'm expecting, well, we'll have another camera, so I'll add another 1,000, and then the 2 TVs in the balance. Which I'm there on the side of caution, that's gonna be about $3,000-4,000, but less than that. I'm estimating that this room would cost about $10,000 to install.
Does that take care of the tables too?
I don't know if we can utilize those funds for the tables, but we can find some other from.
And just on the surface, 764 through Amazon, all the way up to about 1112. And I'm just in price ranges off the internet.
Well, I'd recommend too that we look deeply at the option of attaching them to our first net account. Like have an attached data plan to them. Where we're not having to worry about that as well.
You're saying from a security standpoint?
Security and just simple providing. So it doesn't matter where you're at, you can utilize that data plan to access your stuff. Yeah.
Can we also entertain, I don't know if this is where you do it, but the changeover of the Microsoft email system.
Yeah, I think that
As part of this.
I think that can be attached.
How many people would need, how many emails do we have right now?
Don't work.
I know, that's why we're changing it. 11? I think when I looked it up, it was like
11. We chat part.
Jump on your.
4
12. And yours doesn't work.
2, 5, 6, 7.
There is one.
You roll the monthly cost on something like this. I think it's people. I think it was right around $14 a month per user. That comes with. That also comes with your office for license for everyone as well.
I would say if we're giving 30 devices, we sell them. So that's what I'm see going down.
Back to the circus thing, when you log in, credential that matches that same system. So, but that's cheaper than Google. Google's like $17 per user, depending on what services you're asking to have on it.
In addition, to what with the connection to the internet, the wireless.
If you AT&T cellular.
Do you know about what first net would be per person?
If it's a data only device, it's probably about $30 or $40 a month per device.
We're paying $36 a month.
There's a possibility we could look like that to do a pool data
For each of them.
So we just need to explore those.
What's in that per person?
What's your taxes on there? It was $40. $40 and 10 cents.
About 20 per unit.
$40 per user.
Oh, per user. Okay, so 40 per user.
Just like, we're talking about three additional, or maybe not additional, but you're getting $3,000-4,000 plus per year. I don't know that. You know, envisioning the type of work we do, I'm fine budgets connected wireless at home or here. You may have different needs because of how you travel out.
They don't bother me, the connection line. The only thing that I was thinking is that if we go with a data plan, we can set those up to receive text messages through those devices. It's a little harder if you don't have a cell phone that you could, or a number that you can associate with that device. That's
So Wi-Fi only doesn't come with a phone number, can it, like, a specific direct texted message?
the encouragement is to try to separate our personal lives away from.
Well, I'm kind of in agreement with you a little bit, as far as like you could use the data anywhere really. If you want, if we use a specific system. You can use an app that is basically a communication between. As well, besides just the phone number.
But it's not just amongst us five.
No, I understand.
So that's where I'm having, that's where the discussion was led, because I was exploring options with this individual who was teaching this class to us, but he said you would be recommended to get a device that would do all of the above. And he recommended an iPad because that's most readily available in most slides.
And I'm not saying we could, I'm just saying look at those options.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking that to fully separate. Now, there is a caveat. That's part of why this policy's got to be put into place, is that if you so choose to not use that provided device as intended, you are liable for the connections that you make public life and personal life. Town's not responsible for that. So there's some things there that the reason why I bring it up is I think it's important we separate because of what we're tied to outside of this room. It's not necessarily the people in this room that I'm worried about.
It's.
So the initial setup
Is the federal government agencies that we tie to all the time that don't do everything right 9 times out of 10.
So how much are we going to need to increase our budget? That's
$3,500 a year for your email accounts when you do need that. $40 per, that's about 2,000-2,500.
But there's a potential where we can get pooled data. Where our pooled data would be $300 a month for the entire town.
and I still think you can
As opposed to $40.
I still think you can use the Wi-Fi when you're here and stuff like that, and save your data. Because full data, you're just gonna have.
They combine everybody's stuff together and they just put them together in a lump sum and then.
And save
as
us
long as
money.
you don't go over that lump sum, you're fine with that.
Sarah,
Which,
So I have the same thing with my watch. So with my phone and my watch on my bill, it has 2 different numbers. So if I don't have my phone, it's not connected via Wi-Fi. I can take calls. If my phone is at my house and I'm here, I can take calls on my phone, which is I think what Colby's kind of getting through. But it doesn't have its own data plan. It's linked in with our whole family plan. So as long as if I'm using my watch only and staying within the parameters, it doesn't add up, but it does bill as its own separate number. It has its own number associated with it. And I think that's kind of what you're getting.
so my company. Sorry, I know, we're totally blowing it away.
It's so heavy, and then if I connect to the internet, I'm not using.
So my company, I'll give you an example. Like, we have 3 different phone plans that we buy. We buy an AT&T plan, we buy a FirstNet plan, and we buy a Verizon plan. And we have over 5,000 employees and we're all on 3 plans. It's a full data plan. We just pay $1 million each company a year and they say, okay, go for it. But that's a pool pet plan. We have the data for it. For us, it would, right now on our AT&T, the only ones that are on it are Mike, Bentley, Davis, Chief, and Sheriff. We have 5 devices on it currently.
Oh, we have 7.
Well, 7 devices. on it.
5 phones and 2 iPads.
And I think our monthly bill is $300 and something a month currently right now. I think.
Yes.
I just looked at it a few minutes
So
ago.
even though it's not as.
Well, but that's where I'm getting at. So right now we have 7 devices. We're potentially gonna add another 7 devices, double that. You're gonna have 14 devices out there. And you wanted, if we looked at that and said, okay, if every one of these had a monthly data plan of 4 gigabytes of data a month, and it costs $35, but we can get a pooled plan for 350 gigabytes of data a month for a total of $500, we'd be money ahead to go get that pool plan and just like you said, Charles, when we're in the building, we connect to the Wi-Fi. When we're at town hall, we connect to Wi-Fi. If we have the ability to connect to a Wi-Fi somewhere, we should utilize that. But we still have that option for an actual town number to be associated. We could actually post that number. You're not sitting in church or meetings or whatever, and your phone's going off because somebody's mad about their sewer getting blown up in their toilet. It goes to your government device that you can pick up in an hour or 2 hours and go, okay, I got message that I can go through. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Just ours, we use a lot of data for our iPads because it's constantly on.
That's because they're always sitting on the highway.
While we're working, it's on. So that may be something that.
And it may be something that the device.
Maybe they'd be on their own plan and we pull.
Well, it might be, it may be something we just pull a couple of devices off and keep them on their own separate data plan because it'd be cheaper in the long run and it would save the whole pool for something else.
So where in the budget would we pull this? That's the question. Because
the cost of the equipment would come out of that impact fees.
I'm talking just the monthly.
The monthly would still be the telephone stuff that we pay right now. Which is, right now, we probably have to make some adjustments on that.
Okay.
Going forward.
Okay. But you've looked at there's room there. Somebody, whether we have to adjust it a little bit.
To a small degree, and then there's also the potential with our SCADA devices going in, where our All West bill would drop to very, very little. So that would, the cost would be offset with what this is, if that makes sense, what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've already been on it.
So what I'm hearing is, and what I heard yesterday with what you talking about is we're at the point where we just figure out where the money comes to that part of the bill. But this is so important, it's a given.
It's kind of a have to.
In my opinion, it's a have to.
Yeah.
But
I can tell you on the email side, that's a have to.
in my opinion, I think we're knocking on the door of being in serious trouble eventually with the way the world's been going. I can't tell you
the way the laws go.
I sat in that class for 8.5 hours. I didn't think I could stand listening to data security crap for 8.5 hours, but I sat in that class for 8.5 hours and I was fascinated by the stuff that this guy was pulling out of his hat to talk about. And then a lot of it had to do with the government ties to what people had. And because somebody had a text message from a sheriff 3 counties over that got himself in trouble. Now now his whole life's being investigated because he's tied to it. And I don't.
So if we're tied to it, it's just the device that we have, not our personals.
And I don't think it's necessary for your whole life to be turned upside down unexpectedly because somebody over in Sweetwater County made a mistake and you have a text message.
Right. Okay.
So. We make motions.
I would say we need to make a motion to entertain at least getting costs and going down that road, so we make the decision next night then.
Can we make two motions?
We'll make one motion then. That's okay.
Alright.
So you make the motion to entertain getting costs for these devices.
I second it.
Second by Tracey. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Second.
I think we can move forward on the email stuff. I think. Okay. I make a motion, we move forward on moving our email system to the Microsoft system. As soon as possible.
Second,
A second.
You're over my head, but I'll second.
it's already been seconded.
Opinion.
Who's doing?
Who's,
I can do it.
yeah.
I mean, I can at least get the information. I might need some help. I mean, I might have to get some details, passwords, whatever, but
we would probably need to likely set up a whole new account because the ones we have currently have personal accounts.
yes, we don't want to go back. No, we have to do this because the business comes with your security agreement, where a personal does not have a security agreement.
Right. So we have a motion, we have a second.
Okay.
All in favor, or any further discussions? All in favor? Aye.
So we approved the
About to go. Yeah, we proved to go forward with the, change. I would say that. Yeah, go down the business aisle. The other thing that does is opens up the team's option for us to.
yeah, and that, like I said, that price I quoted you has all of those services included. The only thing it didn't include was a secure, an encrypted secure sending to and from email system, which I don't think we are going to utilize any.
We're gonna need stuff attached to the website, correct?
Yes, but we would have the business agreement or the basically it's like HIPAA compliant stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Which is what we need. Unfortunately, you can change.
I have
With that.
every 90 days.
Yeah, that's what I've had to do with West Fargo, so that.
I do have one other thing, so. For this is just. I don't know what we as a council should do about this, but I think we should do something. This right here is a list of the business licenses that we currently collect in town. This is your book. This is the brand new, it came today, right? Showed up today.
Here.
And those are all the businesses in town?
This is all the businesses that claim they're a part of this town.
Good.
And I think Tracey, you said 7 of the businesses listed on this list have a business license in town.
This is on the Josie.
Yes. Yeah.
So this she didn't ask you.
And there are a few businesses that are not listed on that one that are also not listed on this one. But I think there needs to be some addressing on. I don't know how we address it. I don't know what. Sorry. I don't know what avenue we go down as a town to do this, but I think we are shooting ourselves big time in the foot by not. addressing this.
So this is similar to what I experienced with the 24th and 4th of July, whenever a vendor came in. They better sit right here and get that daily vendor thing, or the mosquito spraying, the bug spraying guy. That first year I was in, remember Colby, I've had people calling me all the time. We know he doesn't have license and, so we need to be on top of that stuff. And that this stuff, I had no idea this was so much. I know there were people who have these businesses, but I had no idea there were so many.
I don't know how many of them actually actively make any money.
But they're still a business.
They're still a business if they're doing something in town.
This considered.
Yeah.
Advertises is a business, right?
So we talk about how we are in need of revenues all the time, and this is one of the revenues that has been hurting for the last few years. There's
So
some.
what do you base the value off of? Or what you charging to?
Is it just a regular?
Is it just a flat?
If it's a business with less than 25 employees, it's $30.
It's $30.
So if you've got 35 people on there, then 35 businesses on there, that's a chunk of change. We're looking for revenues to take care of beautification. We're looking for revenues to take care of our needs for these buildings. And we have, and some of them are highly established businesses that have been around for years. You have a couple of them, right?
I do believe there is a ordinance that's doing business without a license tearing down, what you can sign them for.
I was reading through it, but I didn't get all the way through it yet, so
I think there actually is.
Well, I would follow that straight up, if to some degree, but insurance is different. I don't just buy a license in every possible town that someone buys an insurance for. And I don't really have a domicile location where you come in. So that's why I haven't done it. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't do it. But I know years ago, agree with you. Up at Whitehead. When I was shooting horses, I had to get this one.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I shouldn't have a business license, but I sell across the whole country. Imagine how many towns I would have to buy a business license. It's not the same as what I'm saying, but I do feel like having one in Cokeville would be fine because there's a possibility I would have an office or someone coming in, but it's just different. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I actually inquired into it.
So do you advertise?
Huh?
Did you advertise?
Do I advertise? No, by word of mouth.
Do you have a business card?
I see your thing on the Cokeville calendar.
Yes, I do.
That's advertised. You have to have it.
Yes.
No, I'm not saying, but that's just right.
No, I just
being safe is not $30.
no, but I'm trying to explain to you, like, my thought process on it. I mean, we sell all across the whole United States.
Right.
You can't buy a city license on every place you go to sell a personal. But here, where I'm physically domiciled, I can see where that would be. I'm state licensed. I'm all those things. So I'm just saying I am at fault. I'm just agreeing that I'm at fault. So we'll remedy that quick as possible, but
Well, Larry and I, before we moved here, we were out in the middle of Jerome County. And I was selling doTERRA all over, and I had to have business license.
Sarah, you got a comment?
Oh, my question is, for those businesses, is it just that they just don't understand that?
sure, or they feel like
I think there's
Because-
some that just don't understand that there's even a need or requirement.
So I'm wondering if
There's-
there needs to be like a notice sent out saying, if you have advertised or are a business or consider yourself a business,
You need a business.
you
license.
need to,
you're required.
yeah, you are.
I know
required
of-
to get a-
I know of a few that'll flat out refuse just even to buy one, and I think those are ones that we probably shouldn't enforce more
And
seriously.
maybe then if after they've been given the notification, anyone who neglects to get one after this certain date, then an enforcement will be made if they continue to do their business. I don't know.
I think some of it is just not.
I think there might be a misunderstanding.
Also, some of these businesses that are on this list are not directly in Cokeville, they're on the outskirts of Cokeville, so like. I'll give you an example, one that's not directly in Cokeville is that I would know off the top of my head is Cow Hill Family Farm. They're in Geneva,
Yeah,
but they're choosing to advertise in our
Sierra Salon.
Sierra salons outside.
I think, again, I think it's where it's gonna be more where you're domiciled,
Well, and then the other thing is,
where you're gonna want it.
are you coming into town to do business in town? So that, like, even
Within
if that
city
Cal Hill Family Farms, even though they're domiciled, if they're coming in here and delivering their products and exchanging
And
money
doing
within the
business in
town
town.
limits, they're doing business within the town limits.
Well, if-
That's where.
Somebody needs to do it, somebody, then that's a state.
That's kind of-
So maybe there's an education curve that needs to.
Yeah.
I do believe there's an education curve,
Probably more than that.
but I do think that I think we have probably 60 to 70% more businesses without licenses than we do with licenses.
So Jared comes what, twice a year to spray bugs? So that $30 doesn't really sound like a lot of money.
You could buy them, but
Yeah, he does. I think that's actually.
So when do you require the renewal of the cottage life?
they go out in March, I believe. So every year, so no matter when you buy it, it renews, the renewal notice is sent out to March. So if you set it up today, you're
prorated.
Yeah, no, you pay a $30 fee.
Could you just mail out
$30 at March.
to the business?
That's what we do if they've set up a business license.
If they're listed, could you just say to this business? You explain your business, you've done this, you are required by this statute of the city to pay a $30.
Yeah, probably.
If I remember, I think Jody sent out a few of them to some of the businesses here. And I don't know how many she sent out, but if I remember right, most of them didn't even fill it out and return it or anything like that.
Yeah, so if you ever had a business license within the town of Cokeville the last 3 or 4 years, you get a letter.
Yeah.
I get one for my little hat business that we have. And it just comes through, I go in, I pay my $30, then it comes through on that next month's deal, we approve. So I think it's in April, we do a big old gamut of approvals, because that's what who's coming and redo. April, May, June usually.
I think we move forward with education. And then. If we gotta go a different route, we go a different route. I think a lot of it, I'll be honest with you, like. When I was over in Logan. The main building, the guy working there, he just buys the local. We don't buy a bunch of all the cities around, So, more or less, that's how I would put, that's why I probably overlooked it, but.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is that maybe we need to look at our business license stuff and something must be changed on it and stuff. I do think that. We're missing the opportunity of some revenues that should be there.
So just, like the propane delivery, does that come under something like that?
Yeah, they have that in there.
Here, can I see my news?
But I noticed the bug guy on there. Of course, there's a bug guy and then there's chairs, just two of them, actually.
I don't think he came last year.
Jared,
About that.
but yeah, he raised money off of bug here. But there's another guy that's the bug guy. He's got the same thing on a chair. He does NLCs, that's going.
So T7.
Quick question, because, and this, there's variation in business selection. So if someone has they live in Cokeville, but all of their business is outside of Cokeville, so they need a business license.
No,
I would say so, because
if they're not doing transacting business in town, I don't think they need it.
They claim their taxes as a whole organizational business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like Steve Sharp doesn't hardly do any business here in town. But he buys a business license because he's headquartered here.
Makes sense.
Can we get approval to purchase these devices for this room that we have in the packets? Sorry, I shifted gears on this.
I'll make the motion to purchase the communication technology as outlined in these proposals for this council meeting.
I'll say,
Any further discussion? All in favor? I'll get them coming as quickly as I can. Some things they may have to wait till next month on, but they can select because they give it on credit card, but we'll see what we can do. Oh, she reminded me. So we had an incident here the other day where a gentleman came in and needed some medical assistance, and it came to our understanding that there is not a first aid kit in this building.
Oh,
I thought it falls under mine.
There is,
Senior center does have some. We don't have any upstairs, and they close that time.
yeah, so hang on,
They came to me.
but I do think that it'd be necessary for us to have one in not only this building, the shop, the sewer plant, and probably the well house.
Just one little.
Well, we,
And vehicle.
and then I think we ought to put one in, I think the police officer, you guys have one, right? Do you need new ones?
One of us has one,
Okay,
but that doesn't have Band-Aids.
do you need new ones? And then I think we ought to put a couple in the trucks.
Yeah, we gotta have,
We
got shop. And what is that looking at?
I was born in numbers.
I mean, what you can have here, like building here. More intense than what they would have in the truck.
Yeah, and we selected,
So we looked at prices. We were. For everything, for everyone that you needed.
Some of these are, let's do it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, just do it. You need the safety thing.
It's under $400 for anything.
I just
Yeah, you don't even have to even
would,
vote for it, do you?
well, I think we ought to have a motion just because we're spending money on this. That's just not, it's not.
So
I make motion.
We get the necessary 4-H, 4-H,
First date.
that's that, first aid for the necessary support, yes.
But
Like-
add something to that, let's keep going.
I've got, we went through it together and kind of selected a few different solutions. Yeah,
I think pretty good ones, right? Okay.
yeah, they're in a bag, they're contained, they're pretty well stocked.
It's not the same one though for the next location.
It,
I mean, you'd have a more extensive one in the building. Put in a.
Yeah.
so the car one is significantly smaller,
Yeah, it was that.
but there's, so the ones we get for the buildings will be in like an EMS, EMT kind of stuff, trauma type kit, not full. But it have enough in it.
So I was gonna, so on the same job, do we have to have that? Yeah, because
It would be
I was gonna say, like.
how we
what
pay
if-
for it, it's just a story.
Are we required? That's because we're in certain business.
I don't know.
Thing was seen.
Technically, we have one in this building because the ambulance is actually.
Yeah.
See, what now?
The, what he just said.
Amy.
We have one.
Paddles.
Yeah, paddles, we have one in country. I had to go to a training.
They're about $10,000 to buy.
Yeah.
Well,
And
what are the ones that are worth? I don't know.
You find any cheaper ones?
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a
Once we buy-
that's a hospital grade.
That's one we buy.
The hospital districts to see if they will donate one.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
oh.
good.
I like it.
Work with,
Oh, Sarah does.
I second the idea.
work with the hospitals to see if they would be willing to put forth some money. Cause
advertising on the.
Well, but our citizens go to those hospitals and our ambulance goes to
Yeah.
those hospitals. So I think if they would be willing to chip in for 1 or 2 AEDs.
You're hired.
I've done my due diligence today.
You're everywhere, but for sure this bill,
Yeah, so I think we'll,
it can entertain that,
so we got a motion on the table for
just the first thing.
the first aid kit. That's what I was asking.
I second.
Second by Brad. Any further discussion of first aid kits? It's all in favor.
I,
I think. Did everything?
we make a motion to entertain the AED going to the.
Yeah.
Okay, but I make a motion that we look into the idea of getting an AED. Through the
I would try
Our
the
local-
hospital district.
hospital districts,
I
at least look into it.
The health department may have some,
Yeah.
and I can look into that.
So Chamber, I'll amend my motion that he'll look into that. We good?
You don't have a vote.
Second.
I already did.
Yes, sir.
Second.
Second by Tracey. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Before we close, I want to. Thanks, Colby. For what you do. Above and beyond your calling with fire. The meetings you attend, the hours you put in, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, third.
A lot of money out there that we're getting. We wouldn't even, I don't think we'd even know it was available to us. Without Colby's.
Thank you. Make a motion. Stephen.
All in favor?
Aye. I think this is pretty good. You were just.
And if you're bringing that up.
I want to make a popcorn to go.
I got plenty.
Who's got the AED?
That's the way you have to.
I'm not dead yet.
You call 911.
I'm not dead yet.